testing 1 2 3. Hope everybody can hear me. Hey Frank, hey Thomas, hey everybody in the chat, and thank you for joining me. Let me know if I'm too loud or ARPOLOGY is not loud enough. We're going to have a look at SampleLogic's ARPOLOGY Cinematic Dimensions. I've just had a cup of coffee and about half an hour ago managed to burn my tongue, so I shall probably be sounding rather strange, but we'll see how we get on. I've got my water. I encourage you all to get a drink, by the way. I've got water, but also something a bit more hardcore. And yeah, I'm going to be spending the next hour or so checking out ARPOLOGY Cinematic Dimensions from SampleLogic. I put together the walkthrough videos for these for SampleLogic, so I've been playing with it for quite a few weeks, and it's pretty cool. I also have vast experience over the previous ARPOLOGY, and I think this is a huge improvement, to be quite honest. It's certainly a lot easier to use in terms of functionality. We're going to have a look at all the functions, all the various things. I've actually worked out how to make my Stream Deck do this call. Check it out. Read it and weep, Daniel James. We're gonna have a look at all the functionality, all the different pages of ARPOLOGY, lots and lots of playing with the functions. Obviously, I've done the videos for ARPOLOGY already. If you're at all interested in the product, then you've probably seen those already. So this is going to be going through some of the sounds, but I want to hear what everybody wants to know, sounds that they want to hear, functionality they want to see put into use, questions, answers. That's what I'm here for. As you know, I've been on a bit of a sabbatical from the Samplecast because of various reasons. Might chat about those a bit more later, but yeah, this is really open-ended. I haven't got any particular plan for what I'm going to do apart from to really put this instrument through its paces, and really I want to be driven by you guys. So if you're watching on the Samplecast page, fantastic, hello, welcome to the Samplecast website, but you can go through onto the YouTube site and then you'll be able to open the chat and see what everybody's gassing about on there. Also, funnily enough, somebody just mentioned this in the chat. Eric Linder said, I want this, but it needs to be cheaper. 300 is a lot, even for ARPOLOGY owners. Well, I have no control over the pricing of this, unfortunately, but I do have a giveaway. People might remember last time I did a live stream, I was able to twist SampleLogic's arm, and they kindly gave me some vouchers to give away, $50 vouchers. This time I've got 5 vouchers for $100. So I'm going to give those away at periodic points throughout the next hour or so, or until you lot get bored of me waffling on. Hey Raymond. This is how it's going to work. I've got here's the sample hound. I've got here various bits. It's very high tech, this. I've got all bits of paper with all different numbers written on. There are 1,200 presets in ARPOLOGY Cinematic Dimensions, and on each bit of paper I've got a number between 1 and 1,200, and we're going to have a guessing game, and whoever gets closest to those numbers, when I say, not now, I'm going to be giving out those $100 vouchers. And you don't have to spend $100 on the ARPOLOGY, you can spend it on whatever you like on the SampleLogic page. So thanks, SampleLogic guys, you are cool. I did notice, I had a little sneaky look at the SampleLogic page before getting started with this, and there's quite a lot of cool bundle deals on there at the moment, especially for expeditions and rhythmology, which I really like. So you could spend $100 on that. Do what you want, I don't care. I will not judge you for whatever you spend that on. A few questions coming through already. Adrian Taylor says, I'm taking the MIDI out of it and passing through to other instruments. I use a plugin host like Element or Bidule in tracks. Bidule is very cool. If you haven't checked out Bidule, do it. Then pipe out the MIDI to a second VST hosted alongside it. Yeah, that is a quite technical but cool idea, Adrian. So thanks for putting that on the chat. As I say, join the chat if you haven't already. If you're watching on the Samplecast site, go for it. But shall I stop waffling on now and let you have a listen? Let's do it. So this is how Arpology is set up. And people that have used some of Sampologic's previous instruments, they may be kind of familiar with the setup, but the engine has been redeveloped from scratch on this particular occasion. So although it's called Arpology, it's a new engine, new processors in there, new sounds, and as I say, I find it a lot easier to work than the previous Arpology, which I did use in a lot of tracks, but it was always a bit of a pig to kind of get things organised in the step sequences. I'm going to be having a lot of trouble trying to say that with my burnt up tongue. And there are a lot of step sequences in Arpology Cinematic Dimensions. So let's get to the meat. What's the best thing I like about Samplelogic stuff? Not to be too much of a fanboy, but I love the big kind of one note glory presets, and there are loads of those. As I said, there's 1200 presets in total, but that number covers the multi-core presets. These are they, and it also covers the individual source presets. Each of the sounds is made of 4 sources, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it also covers various step animator presets and things like that as well. So they've given you loads of options in terms of preset browsing, and they're all tagged, they've all got metadata. Mark Ramsey's asking, I wanted to know how new this is compared to the original Arpology that he already has. Yeah, as I say, new engine, new concept. The browsing area is completely new, so it's a lot easier to find stuff by tags if you want to. It is, yeah, over and above, much better, I think, than the previous one. There was nothing wrong with the previous one. It sounded great, but the functionality I always thought was a bit clunky, maybe. Samplelogic going to kill me, but yeah, I think that. Andrew Skipstream, what's the CPU usage like? I don't have any problems with CPU usage. I am running, at the moment, I'm running this on an iMac on the SSD drives. CPU wise, well, let me have a look. I'm going to play through some multi-cores and let me check out my CPU usage as we go. You can just play one finger with a lot of these presets, but I think the best way to play Arpology is to play full chords kind of really spaced out across the keyboard. So imagine if you were writing for a string section or something like that, that is the way I tend to play. Luckily I have huge hands, sorry Donald Trump, so I can do about 14, almost 15 white notes up and down the keyboard, which is very cool. But this does respond to sustain pedal as well, so if you want to, you can just go up the keyboard and hold the sustain. Playing in live mode, by the way. There's DAW mode and live mode here. Live mode does transition sort of straight away between the chords. DAW mode waits until the next, I think, a 16th of a beat. I'm not absolutely sure, but DAW mode tends to sync things for you if you're running in the DAW, but you can flip between those two. Obviously, I'm playing live, so that's live. Raymond says, your hands are bigger than mine. I can only do 13. Well, you know what they say. Big hands, big gloves. Cannot be right, because Google Chrome Helper is running at 200 and something and contact at 100, but whatever. I don't think that's correct, because I did a couple of demo tracks. I did one demo track for Cinematic Dimensions, and I was able to load it up into my normal template and had no problem. So your voice is not loud enough when the music plays. Oh, do you really want to hear more of me? I'll tell you what, I'll turn the music down a bit, and I'll try and not talk too much when the music's on. So, Andrew says, I have to say I find recent sample logic stuff to be too busy with all 4 cores, and I find I'm best to just choose 1 core at a time and layer that way, building up to get what I need. Yes. Totally agree with that kind of stuff. 4 cores are great for kind of auditioning things, and as I say, the 4 cores run simultaneously here. You can change the instruments, and I'll go over that later. But yeah, you can shut off any number of the cores and just play 1. They often don't sound that exciting on their own. The nice thing about this product is it has a browser for individual cores as well. So if you just want to load 1 core, this is different browser different presets to the multi presets. You've got core presets, so you could just load 1 core if you want to, and even from within the preset browser. I'm a bit jumping around all over the place here. I hope no one's getting confused, but yeah, even from within the preset browser, you can just slim it down to 1 core or 1 type of arpeggio. Anything like that. Can you load up your own sound banks, and can you import your own samples? You cannot import your own samples, but one absolutely amazing thing about this, which I cover very briefly in the walkthrough videos, is that you can export your step sequences. So the second page here, you're making me come on to all this stuff I was going to cover later on. The second page here with all the steps sequences, you can export the MIDI. So I would definitely recommend having a play about with that. I'm not using ARPOLOGY in my DAW, so I can't show you how that works. But if you have a look on the videos that I've done, I think I've covered it in the overview video briefly, and also the in detail video. So do check that out. You can export the MIDI, and it will basically apply those arpeggio sequences to your MIDI in your DAW. Works pretty well, I found. But yeah, I'm not going to show you that here because I'll have to load up Ableton or Logic or something and run through everything, and it took me long enough to get all this screen worked out. So have you found a particular MIDI keyboard that works better with it than any other? I have to say, with MIDI keyboards, I always preferred a very light keyboard. So I used to have an M Audio Oxygen. The sorts of things I used to do with music production, you know, very kind of dancey stuff, didn't really need any realistic keyboard. There's the dancey one. But I graduated up to a complete control, and I really like that for its playability, but it's a bit hard on your fingers, especially for, you know, someone with long skinny fingers like me. So yeah, either of those. You know, it works with everything. It's all you need is a triggering keyboard. What's the stuffed toy behind you? That's the sample hound. He's looking after the prizes. Let's give away a prize. So that's how it's going to work. There was chaos the first time I did this round, but I have learnt from my mistakes. So what we're going to do is, on this bit of paper here, there is a number between 1 and 1200, and in a minute I'm going to spend 20 seconds playing some presets, and you're going to have to guess what the number is. And the closest to that number, and you're only allowed one guess, by the way, one guess only, otherwise disqualification. The closest to that number will win the first $100 Sample Logic voucher. So in 3, 2, 1, make your guesses. One number between 1 and 1200, yeah. had somebody helping me last time. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Stop. No more guesses. No more guesses. I'm gonna have a quick scroll up the screen. Somebody have a look back in the chat and tell me who is the winner. 331. Who is closest to 331? Let's have a look. Couple of latecomers. I'll allow you this time. Who is closest to 331? Oh goodness! I remember this last time. I had to scroll up all through the chat and look. Eric Ross got 321. I reckon that might be the closest. 321. 345. No, that's not as close. It's Eric. Congrats. My favourite number is 333. Why didn't I go with it? Too late. Eric Ross, please email me, thesamplecast@gmail.com. Do it via the website, or just email me outright, thesamplecast@gmail.com. And I will, as soon as this is over, I will send you your $100 prize, and you can spend it on whatever you want. I recommend Randomization or ARPOLOGY, because I worked on all those products and I think they're cool. Well, I did the videos anyway. So let's get into the detail of this. I've already covered the sources. There are 4 sources in each of these presets, and I just went through the multi-cores before. So if you load up a multi-core preset, it loads up the sources, the source sounds, the step sequencing for each of those cores, and this is just the overview. Let's flick it back to that. This is just the overview of the cores. Actually, you can delve very deeply into the steps. This is core 1, core 2, core 3, core 4. Some funny comments coming in. This is your overview. So basically, these 4 cores combined, they're run through the step sequencer, which has controls for each of the cores, step type, length, velocity, arpeggio type, transposition, the duration of the note, whether it's being stuttered or not, and to what extent it's being stuttered, panning. And then there's a separate little effects block on the bottom here, which is kind of like Randomization, if anyone's used to that. Hey, SampleLogic are actually in the chat. Hey, SampleLogic. So some people making some pretty cool suggestions on there, so maybe take those on board and stick them into ARPOLOGY 3. Anyway, the signal flow then runs through to the mix window, 4 cores represented here as well, and you've got all sorts of controls there, including volume, the attack and release. You're able to slice up and filter the different sounds, and there's some options for EQing and sort of saturation, that sort of stuff as well. And then there's a master window as well, and on there it basically runs your resulting sound from all the 4 cores combined through Master Effects, and you can change these effects into pretty much anything out of, I don't know how many effects there are, 15 or something. I counted on the videos that I did, but yeah, they're right there. Just checking in with the comments. New one seems lighter on CPU. Yes, I would agree with that. My CPU meter on my iMac must be absolutely screwed, because it was it was running so hot a minute ago. However, I am obviously streaming and on YouTube and uploading and playing Contact stuff at the same time. So I'm going to run through the browser, because actually that's where I tend to find most of the good stuff. You can manually flick through the different sound sources, but there's a lot of them, so it's handy to be able to use the browsers and use that for selecting the sorts of sounds that you want. So let's say, I'll start with the multi-instrument, which is all 4 patches. Let's say I wanted something which was very heavy. Let's say heavy. And these are all the patches that are categorized into their heavy tags. And then you can subcategorize as well, so you could do heavy strings or harmonic stuttering, that kind of thing. You can put as many tags on there as you want. Awesome. Lots of discussion about the Rolly keyboard on the chat at the moment. I've tried a Rolly once, and it was a kind of a pre-development keyboard at the time. It was a couple of years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. So they hadn't really ironed out all the kinks. I didn't love it, but a lot of people are loving it, and I reckon, you know, I wasn't using the most up-to-date one. It's probably improved a lot since I got my hands on one. Yeah, if you want to see Rolly integration for Sample Logic instruments, talk about it on the chat. Drop them an email. Maybe they'll do it. That would be cool. Distorted instruments. Hang on, that's not a distorted instrument. You actually have to filter it first. That would be very handy. Improved the Rolly keyboard. I returned the first one due to awful software, but wow, they've improved it now. I hated it at first, now I just love it. Cool. As I suspected, Rolly keyboard's getting better and better. So there's your multi-instruments. As I say, lots of presets there. I'm not exactly sure how many, but it doesn't matter because all of the presets are mixable and matchable using these filters, which I'll come on to now. So let me start with right, I'm going to play this one, Art of Staccato. See the sources excuse me, the sources that preset is using, these 4 here, and obviously that translates to the main screen as well. Now you can filter these presets by sources, the step animations, so basically the arpeggios, the effects. You can also favorite things as well, so I'm going to actually favorite that so that I don't lose it in the grand scheme of things. The favoriting is saved. It runs across all the instances of ARPOLOGY. So if you close down ARPOLOGY or you open the tracks, you open it in another track, you'll find your favorites saved across all of those different instances of ARPOLOGY. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, Art of Staccato sounds like this. Now let's say we just wanted to change the sources, the source sounds, but keep the... Actually no, let's change the animation but keep the sources. So we can go into the different presets, and using that filter we'll just load the step animator. I think I've done it the right way around. Let's see. So Art of Staccato sounds like this, using these sources. The step animations from any of the other presets, keeping those sources intact. It's a very cool element because, you know, there's been a lot of work put into these presets, and you can use the step animations with different sources and vice versa. So let's say I want to, let's go back actually to the original patch which I was working with, which was Art of Staccato, and we want to keep that, but we'll change the sources. So we can load presets which will load up different sources and keep that keep the different animations in the step animator, which, don't forget, are here. Really long kind of sounds on that one, so you know they're kind of running into each other. course, that's loading all 4 sources individually. You could do that yourself if you wanted to. Just go into cores and you can flick through, have a look at the different sources. That's loud. These are the actual sound sources at the bottom, and these are sources with cores with effects on them as well. So you've got the whole instrument with 4 cores. You can break it down into all these different separate elements and either choose them yourself or use these filtering options in the browser to look at those as well. Once you set the range restriction, say for example the lowest parts of the keyboard, then the rest just passes through. Oh yeah, we're talking about the ranges on the chat there. We'll get into that in a bit. You can adjust the keyboard ranges of all of the different cores, basically. Since somebody's chatting about it, we'll do it. We will do it. Normally, across the entire keyboard, you've got all 4 cores play. Using them big hands again. Pretty cool. But you can just use these little keyboard graphics at the bottom here to pull up and down the ranges of the keyboard until you get the separation that you want. In theory, you could assign each different core to a different layer of the keyboard, and then of course you can load and save those presets. So we've got 2 cores down here in the bass. So you just get that, and then up the top, the other 2 cores. And I think you can retain that functionality across the different sources, and maybe that doesn't remember it. I don't know. I think I saved it and reloaded it before, but yeah, it's pretty simple to adjust. Pretty easy, but yeah, I like that functionality. That was something that I put to use when I was putting the putting the title track together, the audio track for the videos that I did. So I did make use of that. Have some, you don't have to load up multiple patches then. Andy Carlson, I'm lost. It doesn't appear to have one-note combos, atmospheres, instrumentals, loops, and percussives. It has a whole section of multi presets called one-note glories, which are sample logic aficionados will know are just literally one finger sort of big sequences. Most of them use the transpose function in the step animators to kind of move things up and down. So there's a whole bunch of those. I mean, you mentioned instrumentals, loops, and percussives. Well, this isn't really intended as a percussive instrument. It's all tonal stuff. So you have bell noises, brass, detune, dissonant things, wine glasses, that sort of stuff. It's all melodic, so you're not going to get many percussives in there. Can you mix between the 2 sound sources in a core? It would be great to be able to record this in the same way you can with the surround slidey thing. Yes, I'll go into that now actually. Thanks for all the questions, guys. This is cool. I'm hoping it's not too much sort of all over the place, but I'm literally just responding to questions that people are putting out there. This XY pad moves the amplitude levels between the different cores. So you can move it with your mouse, or you can assign... Oops, what have I done? Oh, I hate it when Contact does that. Or you can assign MIDI CC controls to do it with your keyboard on the X and Y axis. You can also change the speed and looping and stuff. But the coolest thing on here is there are presets which enable automatic movements as you play. and you can record your own. So that's playing back on the slidey thing at the bottom, as Andrew said. So if I want to record my own, I'm hitting record, pressing play, and then I'll move it around. Some crazy movements so that you can hear what's happening. And then when I play back, you've got to select play, and then every time you press a new chord or a new note, you'll get that sequence start from the beginning. Adrian Taylor has suggested this is where you can put the CCs for the Rolly keyboard too. Yes, you can. So you can learn from the Rolly keyboard there, or you can just tell the Rolly to output. I'm assuming it's CCs on the note slides or vibrato or that sort of thing, and you assign it to the X and Y pad. I'm not going to go too much into the X and Y because I think people, you know, they sort of know roughly, you know, what mixing is between the 4 different cores. It's a nice feature. It's not used an awful lot on the presets, which I think is a little bit of a shame, but it's very easy to go in and just select one of the pre-done presets to add a bit of movement to the sound, or, as I say, super easy to record your own as well. This is going to sound weird. Of course, you can turn that on and off if you want to. So, I did mention the filtering of different things in terms of the presets. You can also randomize. Should we do another draw? Let's do another draw. Got to keep reminding me about these draws, guys. Your music feed is way too high compared to your microphone feed. Okay, let me turn that down a bit. I can do that. Is that better? Testing, testing. Okay, here we go. We're going to do a number between 1 and 1200, and this is what we're going for. You're going to guess. I'm going to give you 20 seconds while I play through something nice in ARPOLOGY. Ready, steady, go. ARPOLOGY is so cool for doing this kind of like tick-tock, tick-tock suspense things. Take your guess. Between 1 and 1200. Only one guess, please, each. Loads of guesses coming in. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And stop. Enough, enough. Let's see what we've got. 790. Ooh, somebody got 777. Who was that? 790 it is. 789. Who got 789? Jamie. If you are listening, Jamie Villalvazo, contact me, thesamplecast@gmail.com. I will rush you your $100 SampleLogic voucher as soon as the show's done. By the way, if you're interested in ARPOLOGY, if you want to check out the product SampleLogic, do head to the link in the description underneath the YouTube video. That would be very handy. Then SampleLogic can see that I'm sending people their way and they will love me forever. Hopefully. Give me some more work, hopefully. Cool. So let's step into this a bit more. I'm going to go over the randomization. So just in the same way as you can filter your presets by multis, cores, sources, step animation. I'll come on to the step animation in a bit. There's loads of different options for that as well. You can do a randomization. So you've got all of these, let's put that on the screen, all of these different options as well, which you can literally just select individual cores or everything, or sources or effects chains, parameters, all that kind of thing, and you can randomize. So this often results in some very, very interesting sounds and combinations and ARPs. It's kind of basically unlimited. I don't know how many combinations there are, but billions and billions, I would guess. So here is a preset with a bunch of strings. So pretty simple presets. Let's say we wanted to randomize just the source sounds. Open the randomization, click source, and we could randomize on all of the cores or just a couple of them. So we could keep the strings, for example, on 2 of the cores, and randomize on a couple of them as well. So as you can see there, we're going to get the same patterns, but different sources on those 2 ones that we've opted to randomize. It's the most simple stuff I'm going through first. You can randomize all of them if you want to, like this. Don't forget, we're only randomizing the sounds at the moment. We'll have the opportunity to do other stuff in a sec. You can randomize the FX chain, which is I haven't really covered the effects, so I won't do that yet, but that's a possibility as well. But let's look at the master effects. You can do that, you can program those yourself, or you can randomize. This is kind of cool because you've got master effects here that the whole lot of sounds runs into. You can see it's pretty intuitive. You know, that is literally the signal flow, the 4 cores into the step sequences, into the mix window, finally out of the master. So you can see they're randomizing controls that. Of course, you've got presets as well, and you've got individual preset options, and all of these have their own parameter dials. Let's go back to the original preset. There's quite a cool thing here. You can just press on this little icon and it will reset to the original preset. So let's say we want to randomize the step sequencer options in the 4 cores. I'll go over those in detail in a sec, but this is the cool randomization stuff. You've got options to randomize, well, pretty much everything. Let's do just stuttering. I've got the master effects doing it as well. Hold on, hold your horses. You can do the panning, duration, velocity, length of the individual step sequencer arpeggio things. Adrian Taylor's chatting. Oh, they're talking about MIDI routing as well. MIDI routing is the bane of my life, my least favourite thing to do. Luckily this instrument makes it quite easy, but yeah, if you're doing rolly keyboard stuff, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Let's reset back to normal. You can randomize the presets, which will do pretty much, well, almost everything, because a preset is a combination of source sound and step animation information, so that's going to give you all sorts of different results. But it it'll keep the master effects the same. Gets a bit stuttery when you're changing things whilst it's playing, changing sources while it's playing. That's nice. I really like that combination. Don't know what it chose then, but I really like it. It was, you know, some sort of mallets, a bit of synth, a little bit of woodwind, and a bit of guitar. Pretty cool. Good to see you, man. I was getting worried. Yes, I am alive, but Samplecast is in ill health at the moment because of various things, personal and professional. But yeah, I'm trying to keep up with a few bits and bobs, including the newsletters. You can sign up for that at the Samplecast site, and also the what am I doing? Live streams, newsletters, and stuff on Facebook as well. A little bit on VI control, if I can step into the rat's nest. So yeah, those are those randomization options. I'm not going to go through them all, but they basically refer to every single element of the interface. So yeah, pretty flexible, and it's the sort of thing that when I first got hold of this instrument a couple of weeks ago, I was able to just click random until I found something lovely and laid it down on some tracks. Andrew Castlar, it's very reverby. What are the options? Can you play it dry? Yeah, just take the reverb off. These are the master effects, so I mean, if I took every master effect off, and also in the mixing, I don't think there's any reverb in the mix effects. Depends what source sounds you've got loaded up as well, because obviously you're looking at some sounds which are very short, some sounds which are long. In the dynamic effects section at the bottom here, there's also reverb, which you would have to take off every individual. I mean, we can take off all the effects for each individual core, as well as taking them off the master. We could see how it sounds. Probably a bit basic, but since Andy's asked, let's see. That's not too bad, doesn't sound too basic. That sounds fine. You could cut things down really short if you wanted to, using the controls in the mix window. Let's try some different sources actually. Now that I've just taken the, a lot of the effects off, I can use that randomization to change the sources. Just see. I tend to think things sound good with delay and reverb, but you don't have to use it. Randomizing sources sometimes throws up some oddities. Don't forget, you don't have to randomize. You could fling yourself into the multi-instrument presets and just load up sources or things like that. Obviously you can categorize then, so filter by sources, go into the multi-instrument if you wanted to keep those options, and the non-reverb stuff that we've cut out, you could just do mallet presets, change those sources. My blank is terrible today. So yeah, flexibility is the key. I like some of the synth sounds they've sampled. Some really fun stuff in there. Sort of like vintage synth. But I'm purposefully making it sound really dry, so it's not my preferred way of playing it. let's put everything back in again. So let's get into the step animator, which at first glance you might think looks a bit like, what on earth? What sort of computer are you using? I'm using an iMac, just normal iMac actually, a big one, a powerful one. I don't have an iMac Pro at the moment. Maybe I will get one, we will see. Tell you what, before we get into the step animator, I'll do another little giveaway, because everybody loves a giveaway. Don't forget to click on the description below the YouTube video, and that'll take you through to the ARPOLOGY site, and you can choose what you want to spend your vouchers on, or have a browse around there. I Miss the Samplecast podcast. Will it return? Yes, it will. I'm hoping it will sooner rather than later. There are a number of things preventing me from doing it at the moment, just basically time stuff and personal stuff. Let's get into this. Let's do a draw, and I'm going to choose a number between 1 and 1200. You're going to have 20 seconds to identify that number, guess it on the chat, and you only get one guess. Don't forget one guess. Look how orange I look on this webcam. It's very dark here in the UK, so evening light. Ready? I'm going to choose a preset, and we're going to go 3, 2, 1, go. This is a nice preset. Three, 2, 1. No more guesses. Stop. No more guesses. No more guesses. Could you see it over there? Maybe you could see it. Okay, let's see. So let's see who's the winner. It is. I know who this is. It's 63, and I think it might be Peter who is the winner. Peter Seuss. Peter Seuss. Let's see. I think it is. Let's everybody confirm that. Peter Seuss. You had 68. Yes, you did. You get the prize. Email me, thesamplecast@gmail.com. I will send you a $100 voucher. Hey, no post guessing. Kari guessing 63 at the last minute. I can see you there. Sample Hound is guarding. We've got two more. We've got 2 more giveaways before the end. I want to run into this step sequencer, show you how it works. It's pretty huge, but it's very logically laid out. So if you don't want to get into things too crazily, you can go into the global step sequencer, which basically summarizes sort of everything that all 4 of the cores are doing. Cores 1, 2, 3, and 4. The different presets that are being used, because there are presets for step sequences as well, which I'll come on to in a sec, and how long each sequence is, the time signature, exactly what it's doing in terms of the length of notes and velocity, that sort of thing. Basic stuff is in there. The more complex stuff under the hood, if you want to get into it, is within these individual core step sequences. So let's look at core 1, and this is going to sound really simple, but I just want to explain things. So I'm going to turn off all the other cores. We're just going to have core 1. It's a little flute, rather cute. And this is core 1's step sequencing options. So let me just turn off the effects in the dynamic effects, just so we can hear what's going on. And you can see it running through. You've got options to play with each step. Either the note, you can stutter things, you can glide between the notes, you can free play, exactly what you're playing on the keyboard, or you can do alternating stutters. Yes, probably a good idea to bring that up. Sorry, kids. As I say there, step type, you've got a number of different options. So that's a stutter. You can glide between the notes. You can free play. See, I can take it out of arpeggiation at those 3 steps. Like that. Cheers, HB Laboud, for reminding me about my screen. So yeah, that gives you a good idea. There's actually a very cool kind of auto stutter option as well, which is up here. Just turns everything into a stutter, which is kind of nice for some of the patches. The lengths of the notes are here, self-explanatory. Velocity of the notes here. You've got the arpeggiation type, so you can either run up and down as you play them, random, chords. Chords are pretty cool. You can transpose the individual steps up and down up to 36 semitones, so pretty huge. That's too much. The duration, that's like gating. Doesn't really work on this patch, but trust me. The type, rather the note division of the stutter, you can get some really like BT-esque sort of, and then panning, self-explanatory. You can reset any of these. This particular one has got fixed velocities. You can adjust that to lots of different levels. You've also got huge amounts of steps that you can do. 128, obviously you have to split it amongst different pages then. But yeah, you can do an enormous amount if you want to. Down to 1. Nice and easy. You've also got different options for octaves. You can run the arpeggiator at different speeds. Half time, double time. Sample spotlight. Hey Ruben. Hey the Chris, the Darius, the Chris. How are you doing? Haven't spoken for a while. So yeah, lots of options there. But before you worry about it, if it's too complex or you don't want to have to adjust every individual thing, that is what the presets are for. So these are split into 5 different categories: melodic, monophonic, experimental, glitch presets, chordal, gated, and progressive chords. You can hear that it does chord progressions. There's so many of these. Gated chords. Don't forget I'm only playing 3 notes on the keyboard here, so not very exciting. Experimental glitch stuff, which is all stutters and that kind of affair. Melodics, basically tunes. So many of these. Crazy stuff. And monophonic, which just sticks on the same notes. Again, you can favourite these just like you can with any of the other presets. And this is part of the normal preset browser, so you can dip in and out of the multi-instruments, the cores, the sources, and the different step animators for all of the different 4 cores. The amount of flexibility here is insane. I was about to say a bad word then, but yeah, it's insane. Can the duration and pan be enlarged to fine-tune the settings? Nope, not as far as I'm aware. Panning, do you really need to enlarge more than that? I mean, the number pops up. You're able to see the little number. I guess if you wanted, you know, to be super precise, you could be. But I think probably I'm not going to need to be that precise. Saving. Can you save these ARP concepts? Also, I missed whether you can save the XY patterns you record or use them on other patches. Yeah, well, I mean, you can save the patches and then you can load any element of the patch at any point. So you could save a patch with your particular step sequences that you're looking to use, and then you could load up that patch with the step sequences. I believe that is the case, or with only the step sequences rather. I think that's possible. You might want to double check that with ARPOLOGY, but yeah, I think that's possible. Because yeah, of course you can spend hours with the arpeggiator section and make some really cool stuff. You can also copy and paste between the various cores and between the various pages. That can be done just here, and you don't have to copy and paste everything. Again, you can filter by FX chain, FX pattern, sequencer settings, all of that kind of affair. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can play the sequences backwards and forwards. You can ping pong. I'm on number 3. Don't know why I haven't got that activated. Let's go at number 3. Enough of that flute for the minute. I think there's a lot of effects on this, so there you go. Yeah, play forwards, backwards, ping pong, or just play for a certain number of times. You could just run it through the sequence once or twice, well, all the way up to, I think it goes up to 16, yeah. So that'll run just through one time, and then it should stop. But it won't, because I've not got it on the right thing. I presume all the samples are chromatic, says Raymond. Yes, they are. So there's your arpeggiators. You can program it yourself, or do what I do, be a lazy bugger and just go into the presets and load up your own step animations, or steal the step animations from the presets using the filters in the big preset browser. That is also a very cool thing to do. Nobody's going to know that you're not a genius. That's the sort of thing I like to sneak. The effects, the dynamic effects, I'm not going to cover this too much because actually it's pretty much the same as in all the Rhythmology packs that ARPOLOGY do. So Expeditions, Rhythmology, and the third one, Electricity. Excuse me. Yeah, it works pretty much the same. So you've got effects, presets. It basically is an arpeggio section for the effects, of which you can add in however many you want to, up to 6. And you can also run various presets with certain aspects of the effects. So on core 3 at the moment, which let's just only play core 3 so you can hear what's going on. On core 3 we have got pitch shifter, tape saturator, formant, screamer, delay and reverb, and we are able to change any of those. We can use the presets there as well. We can change the speed that runs at, all sorts of different things. And basically what that means is that you're going to have different effects applied to each slice of the arpeggio. What's the best way for me to demo this? Best way for me to demo it is probably to use a preset that actually has it working to begin with. So Let's speed it up a bit. Let's put on a pitch shifter. That's going to be one of the more obvious things that we could do. And I'll just play, again, I'll just play chord 3. This one's got loads of delay on it. Why is that not working? I am doing something wrong, but I do not know what. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Maybe I haven't turned the dynamic effects on in that one. Ah, there we go. Can I change that to pitch shift to make it work? Let's see. Yes, it works. Hallelujah. Maybe you covered this already, says Peter, but can you manipulate the XY with MIDI learn so I can tweak them with MIDI controller? Yes, yes, yes. Super easy. Go into the options. Learn. Let's do it. Learn 22 for that and 23 for that. Because I've got a complete control keyboard, they're automatically assigned. So I've just learnt them, and yeah. Whee! Across, up and down. I'm twiddling the knobs. I should have a overhead keyboard so you can see what I'm doing, but yep, it's a working. But I've turned half the cores off, so obviously you can't hear what's going on. There you go. Doing that all by MIDI. So you could program that if you wanted to. Anyway, back to the step sequencing. Dynamic effects, I'm not going to go over it too much. Basically, yeah, as I say, you can add effects onto each slice. You can run the slices however quick you want to. And you can add animation to certain parameters. Each effect has got its own parameter. So, for example, with the tape saturator, gain is the parameter that you can animate. With pitch shifting, it's pitch itself. With stereo spread, it's the amount of spread, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, you can have a look at that. I'll cover it in the walkthrough videos a little bit. It's a nice little bonus. Most of the presets don't tend to use it because the basic effects in the mixing and mastering panels, they are really good, and I enjoy using those. So yeah, I'm not going to go into that too much. You've got to watch out for the dynamic effects a little bit because you know, if they don't correlate with the effects up top, you might suddenly, you know, flick the parameters of one effect too far in one direction or another, and it can sound a little bit janky. But oftentimes it's just a nice kind of extra little dimension. You've got presets for all these as well. Presets for all of the dynamic effects. Listen to that. So I'll quickly cover the mixing and mastering pages. The mix page has the XY in the middle, does exactly the same as the core. Each of the cores has options for volume, panning, attack and release. I'm going to use something a bit more clicky to show you this. And again, I'll just use one core. High cut. Different curves there. Different EQ presets you can dial in. Energy, which is basically saturation. And volume, panning. The attack and release controls are very nice for kind of getting a gating effect. Or you can do sort of sidechain emulation, which is nice. You've also got options for routing out to different stereo outputs. You could, in theory, route, you know, all your different cores to different outputs, process them separately in your DAW if you wanted to. Andrew Skipstream says, I came here thinking I'd have no use for this since I own the guitars one, but I'm definitely seeing my getting into this to use on tension TV cues. I think this will be just ideal. Yeah, I totally agree, because it's all that kind of, there's a lot of malletty instruments in there, there's a lot of vintage synth stuff, lots of bells. It's exactly the kind of thing that you get on tension cues, thriller stuff, action cues. I totally agree. So yeah, maybe more useful than you thought. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. To kind of talk you through things and answer the questions. So each of these cores, as I say, has got all those options there before it runs into the master effect. You can also go into MIDI lock mode, which I haven't discussed. That's an option actually on, I think, the mix and the core page. It will basically mean that you can play notes and then it will lock that core into those notes only until you tell it not to, and you can play around it with the other cores. So let's do that with core 3. I'm playing just G's, and then if I play again on, I don't know, F major, still get the G playing with core 3. It's a bit of a weird kind of complex patch to use it on. Try something a bit more obvious. Hang on. So I'm playing notes. Lock that note in. Oh yeah, that's the way you do it. I did it the wrong way around. So I've locked in C for core 1 and core 3, and then if I play up and down the keyboard, you'll still get that C, or you still get the notes that you played before. Can you see? I'm not playing that bottom C anymore. Rather nice. The mastering window. Let's do another giveaway. Got 2 more to get rid of. I'm dying to get rid of this money. Let's guess. Let's take your guesses. Guess between 1 and 1200. It's going to be guarded by the sample hound. I'll play some tunes and I'll give you 10-15 seconds. Guess between 1 and 1200. Off you go. Three, 2, 1. Done. Stop. I think the stream runs tiny bit behind. Maybe just by a few seconds. I'll let the last couple of guesses come in. Good luck, everyone. I can see it's running slightly behind. Okay, anyway. Your number is 1,120. 1,120. Who's got closest to that? God, there were a lot of guesses that time, so someone's going to have to tell me, I think. 1,001. Oh, Ed. 1,122. I think it's Ed. Confirm if that's Ed. $1,122. Andy also guessed that. Oh no, Andy's telling me it's Ed. So yeah, Ed, please drop me an email, thesamplecast@gmail.com. Ed Masters, please do that. Email me, thesamplecast@gmail.com. I will send you $100 gift voucher for Samplelogic. You can spend it on anything you want. It doesn't have to be ARPOLOGY. You can spend it on something cheap and get something for free if you want to. Nice stuff. So I've got one more of these to give away, but let's run through the mastering section. So I'll just dip into the presets. Let's have something kind of... What have I played a lot of so far? Not much. I haven't played many guitar-y kind of things. So I'll filter by guitars. My voice is going, sorry. Okay, we've got a preset loaded, guitars, running through all the stuff, and the sound ends up at the master panel. You have various different presets that you can just preload, kind of mix ready presets, some weird ones, some fun ones. I do keep forgetting to switch screens, don't I? Thank you for reminding me, Paul. So there's your presets, but the real fun comes by just literally loading up your own set of 6 kind of hot swappable effects and going to town, because you've got all the usual sort of contact effects in there, nicely categorized, and you've got options for changing all the parameters on them. So I'm not going to go through it. You know, you'll have seen contact libraries no doubt before with FX panels. I don't think there's many as kind of sexy as this, because I really like the look of this one, but yeah, it's the onboard contact effects kind of filtered into the very best ones, and with the parameters adjustable so that nothing's going to sound too out there, but they're all going to be kind of mix ready options. And again, if you like what you've done with the mastering chain and you want to keep using that, you can save as a multi, or you can randomize other stuff and just keep that. So yeah, randomize your sources, keep your master effects, so keep that unchecked. Got some crazy stuff. But of course, as I said before, you can randomize. Man, you can randomize every single thing if you want to. Get some really odd stuff. That's not my system glitching, by the way. That is, you know, all the different effects and ARPs and things like that. So yeah, let's have some questions. I'm going to finish off in a sec. But yeah, if there's anything you want to ask me, anything you wanted me to go over again, I like this instrument a lot. I think it's rather sexy, really. I like that it uses the big contact screen, because there's a lot to fit on the screen, especially with all these step animators and things. I like that it's kind of reminiscent of a cross between, somebody said it on the chat earlier on, cross between some of Samplelogic older instruments, but also their newer engines that they've got with rhythmology and things like that, because the sequences and the mixing page certainly is very reminiscent of that, although this has been built from the ground up. The sources are really nice, all chromatic, melodic stuff. I'm hoping they'll come up with, you know, maybe a more percussive version or something more specific. I can imagine there'll be packs for this at some point. I don't know that for a fact, but you know, it's a new engine, so maybe they'll build on that. Inquiring minds want to know, what red are you drinking on? It is a Pinot Noir from somewhere. I've had it in my cupboard for ages. It's in the kitchen. It's rather nice. But if you're interested in ARPOLOGY and you want to figure out what's going on, or if you do have the previous version of ARPOLOGY, now I think there's been a bit of, maybe a little bit of confusion about what this new product is, which is why I wanted to have a look at it. It's not a remix of the old ARPOLOGY. This is new samples, this is a new engine, this is a new workflow, a much more streamlined experience as far as I'm concerned. And so I wanted to kind of put that out there really and just explain to people that's what's going on. It shares a name with its older brother, which has now been discontinued, but it's really different. The upgrade, people have been saying, the upgrade, someone literally just said it there, expensive upgrade. Well, it's not an upgrade as far as I'm concerned. It is, a similarly named product with a whole different set of features and all new samples, and it's on intro discount at the moment. You can go down to the link below, and if you purchase through there, you will support the Samplecast. SampleLogic will love me and hopefully throw a few more things my way and make me able to give away more vouchers and things like that. So that would be great. It's a good product. I think those randomization options and definitely the filtering options on the browser are just superb. I spent a lot of time swapping out sources, swapping out effects, swapping out the animation sections. Something which I really enjoyed doing. We'll do one more voucher, and then I will sign off for the evening. As I say, if you're interested in this, want to know more, the link is in the description below. I'm gonna get my guesses in from 1 to 1200. That's the number of presets available here. And as I say, you can swap them all around, so it's pretty much unlimited. Place your guesses now. Give me a number. Can you see through the paper? Hope not. Three, two, one. Time is up. I'll let those guesses come in for a sec. Oh my goodness. Everything's going disastrously wrong. Ugh. One guess each. Okay. We're done. The number is 587. Someone just guessed 589. And that wasn't before I opened the paper. So I think it might be you, J Ship JR. Let me just double check there's nobody else. You were 2 away. Andy's on the ball. Andy's my right hand man this evening. He is checking all these numbers for me. Was that right? J Ship JR? Come in, JShipJR. Do send me an email at the Samplecast. Thesamplecast@gmail.com. Because you were closest with 589 to the winning number, 587. So yeah, anyone who's won those, any one of these 5 $100 vouchers, go spend it on the Samplecast. Go spend it on the SampleLogic website. Use the link in the description below if you can. That would help me out. And don't forget to contact me. I'll be sending out those vouchers as soon as I can. Thesamplecast@gmail.com is your way to get hold of me. Anyone want to ask me any questions that are not SampleLogic related while I'm here? I'll do a couple of answers, and then I have to sign off. It's very hot in here. Can you see my shiny head? Absolutely awful. Thanks, Billy. Thanks for the feedback. I think I'll just play you out with some of the crazy presets. Some beautiful stuff in here. Is it only for use on Contact? Oh yeah, I didn't even mention. You need the full version of Contact to run this. Love that one. Love, love, love that one. Cheers, Ruben. Very helpful. What exciting things do you have coming up in the pipeline? You'll see me on the Native Instruments website soon with another feature on there that I'm putting together. I'm doing a few bits for a few other companies that I can't tell you anything about, but there'll be more videos, a little bit of music. You know how it is in my world, and your world as well probably, you know, loads of NDAs, you can't say anything to anybody, so sorry, that's not very helpful, is it? But do keep looking out. Follow the Samplecast on Facebook and Twitter. Sign up to the newsletter at thesamplecast.com. I'll send you what I'm doing on there periodically, and I hope to be back with some shows soon, really soon. I'd really like to. I'm missing what I'm doing, so I know everybody else is missing the Samplecast. I get messages every day from people saying, when are you going to be back? So yeah, it's a real shame that I'm not able to do them at the moment, but hopefully things are going to turn around. And I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for all the questions. You've been amazing. Thanks to Andy for keeping check on those numbers as well. Cheers, mate. I will see you soon.